You may be putting off a conversation that I challenge you to think about having with your family. You spend an awful lot of time building something special. And I'm here to tell you, a family meeting and a family conversation could be critical to make sure that your family understands your intentions. Hi, I'm Greg Weimer, and I'd like to talk to you about the importance of having a family meeting and how it can preserve your legacy. So when you talk about legacy, I think it so many times it's like, well, you know, how am I going to be remembered? And that's part of it. I happen to think the more interesting part, the one that people care more about, is legacy is really the impact you and your efforts in your lifetime make on other people. That's what legacy is all about. When we think about financial planning, legacy is also about how you're living your life. So it's the moments you're creating for you and your family, and your legacy is built based on how your efforts, your charitable giving, your interactions with your family. So legacy is while you're alive, your living legacy. And then ultimately, your legacy, when you pass, how are you going to impact things you care about in the future? So many times it's unfortunate because I said up front, we avoid having the conversation and not communicating with our loved ones about our legacy, about our wealth, about our portfolios, about our intentions. And so we don't talk about it. Not communicating about your legacy, not communicating about your intentions with your wealth and your portfolios and your family's wealth is really a bad idea. And unfortunately, what that can lead to at times, it can lead to you spent all your life building something for your family. And sometimes it can be received as a burden because it's like, I don't know, what did my mom or my dad, what did they want me to do with this? And it can be a burden. It can be a responsibility that the next generation is truly not prepared for. The one emotion sometimes that has surprised me a little bit is because we go through this fairly often, unfortunately, is anger. And that's the one that surprises me a little bit because, you'll have the next generation say, holy cow, mom and dad we didn't know. It's not as organized as we thought it should be. And they're just frustrated that this is put upon them today, even though it could be a lot of money. The frustration of the lack of communication, the lack of organization can create unfortunately, some anger. So the solution's somewhat simple, and it's communication. And they're called, and we call them, and we conduct family meetings. And I think sometimes what that can create is, I don't know, it can create some confusion or complication by calling it a family meeting, but it's really, I'd rather call it a family conversation. And in a family conversation, and by the way, it can take a lot of different flavors. You don't have to disclose your entire net worth in the first meeting. You don't have to have your entire family in the first meeting. Maybe you choose to break it up with different family members, and you take it in smaller chunks. I can tell you what I do with my family, and I think we've done probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that at this point. We have it annually. I'll tell you, I don't think that's enough. I think it's better, at least in our family, we're growing as a family. So I think it's important for us to have it probably twice a year. But in our family meetings, it's very simple. I'll send out a text. Here's 10 things we could talk about. They all respond back to me. Here's like 2 or 3. We take those 2 or 3. We don't try to boil the ocean every year. We take 2 or 3 that are relevant. It could be the business. It could be trust. It could be portfolios. It could be investing 101. It could be faith. It could be philanthropy. It could be a lot of things. But you take the 10 things, we go through 2 or 3, and we just have a conversation. What's interesting about family meetings actually is almost everyone I talk to, they want to have a family meeting. And they say their intention is to have a family meeting. I would say of the people I talk to, 10% actually do it. So the first thing you need to do is you need to schedule it and get it on everybody's schedule. And then we can help you. We can either help you with, here's some things you should talk about, here's some best practices. We would be happy to facilitate. Sometimes it is easier to have someone come in from outside to just do the picture cards, talk about the estate plan, and be there to sort of facilitate the conversation because we've been through them with a lot of the families we have the privilege of serving. I'm blessed to have wonderful children, wonderful grandchildren, and we do communicate a lot. But I will tell you, even though we communicate a lot, we've uncovered really important things in our family meeting. Whether it's about the charities we really care about and our purpose, or candidly, like some of the ways we like to spend time together. And so what I found was in an exercise we did where we had all the kids take out cards and pictures and to say which ones they cared about. And all of them had selected different ones. The one thing they all had in common was they were all around a swimming pool, somewhere warm, and together as a big family. And what was really obvious when we sat there, it was like, they really are special moments. They're special moments when you take that vacation or spend time around. And so we've made a real effort in our family to make sure we have those moments. And so it's part of our plan. We talk about it, and it's really important when we look back. That'll be a big part of our legacy. If you're thinking about having a family meeting, we would be happy to help and happy to facilitate those important interactions.